The link had been sitting in his inbox for 3 days before he finally opened it. It arrived without a name, without a message, without anything that would make it feel safe. Just a quiet notification. On a Tuesday night when the world outside, his window had already gone still. He had almost deleted it, assuming it was another useless piece of spam, trying to pull him into something he did not need. But something about it stayed with him. Maybe it was the timing. Maybe it was the silence that followed it. Or maybe it was the way his chest tightened every time he thought about it. Like a memory he had buried long ago was trying to find its way back. On the third night he gave in. His room was dim, lit only by the faint glow of his phone. The city outside hummed softly, distant cars passing like whispers. He sat on the edge of his bed, thumb hovering over the screen for a few seconds longer than necessary. Then he tapped the link. The video opened slowly, buffering for what felt like an eternity. His heartbeat grew louder in his ears, each second stretching thin. When it finally played, the first thing he saw was her. He froze. It wasn't just someone who looked like her. It was her, Aisha. The same eyes, the same gentle smile that had once made his world feel complete. She was sitting somewhere bright, sunlight spilling across her face. Her hair slightly messy the way it always used to be when she didn't care about fixing it. For a moment he couldn't breathe. He hadn't seen her in 5 years. 5 years since she walked out of his life without explanation. 5 years of unanswered questions, of late nights wondering what he had done wrong, of slowly convincing himself that some stories just don't get endings. And now here she was, alive in front of him, speaking. "Hi," she said softly, her voice almost exactly as he remembered it. His throat tightened. "I don't know if you'll ever see this," she continued, glancing down briefly before looking back at the camera. "But if you do, it means I finally found the courage to send it." He leaned forward, his fingers gripping the edge of his bed. Her eyes looked different. Not older, not exactly. Just heavier, like they carried something unspoken. "I've tried writing to you 100 times, she said, her lips trembling slightly. "But I never knew what to say. How do you explain disappearing from someone's life like that? How do you say sorry for something that broke both of you?" His chest felt like it was being crushed from the inside. Memories rushed in without permission. Late-night conversations, quiet laughter, promises whispered in the dark that felt unbreakable at the time. "You deserve the truth," she said, her voice barely above a whisper now, "and I took that away from you." He shook his head instinctively, even though she couldn't see him. "Do you remember that night at the hospital?" she asked. His breath hitched. Of course he remembered. The night she told him everything would be fine. The night she held his hand and smiled like nothing in the world could go wrong. The night she promised she would never leave. The next morning, she was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just absence. "I lied to you," she said. The words landed heavily. "I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know how bad it was yet. And I was scared, not of dying, but of watching you break." He felt something inside him crack open. "They told me a week later," she continued. "I didn't have much time. Months, maybe. A year if I was lucky." His eyes filled with tears before he could stop them. "So I left." The room felt smaller. "I thought it would be easier for you to hate me," she said. "To think I didn't love you enough to stay. Because the truth would have destroyed you." He let out a shaky breath, his vision blurring. "I didn't want your last memories of me to be in a hospital bed," she whispered. "I didn't want you to watch me fade." Silence filled the space between her words. He wiped his face, but the tears kept coming. "I was selfish," she admitted. "I told myself I was protecting you, but maybe I was just protecting myself. I didn't think I was strong enough to see you suffer." She looked away from the camera for a moment, collecting herself. "I survived," she said quietly. His heart skipped. "I don't know how. Maybe it was luck. Maybe it was something more. But I'm still here." He stared at the screen, unable to process what he was hearing. "I spent years trying to figure out if I should come back," she said. "If I even had the right to." Her eyes met his again through the screen. "You moved on, didn't you?" He swallowed hard. He hadn't. Not really. He had tried. He had gone through the motions, dated, smiled, lived a life that looked complete from the outside, but there was always a part of him that stayed stuck in that hospital hallway, waiting for answers that never came. "I hope you did," she added softly. "I hope you found someone who stayed." He let out a broken laugh. The irony burned. "I'm not asking for anything," she said. "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't even expect you to respond." Her voice steadied, but her eyes betrayed her. "I just needed you to know that I loved you." I never stopped. The words hit him like a wave. "And if there's even a small part of you that can forgive me, I'll be at the place where we first met tomorrow at sunset." She paused, her breath trembling. "I'll wait." The video ended. The screen went dark. For a long time he didn't move. The room felt unbearably quiet, like the world itself was holding its breath. His mind raced, replaying every word, every expression, every moment he had just witnessed. She was alive. After all this time, she was alive, and she was waiting. He stood up suddenly, pacing the room as if movement could help him think. Anger rose first, sharp and familiar. The years of silence, the pain, the confusion, the nights he spent, questioning his worth, wondering why he wasn't enough for her to stay. Then came something else. Relief, hope, fear. What if it wasn't real? What if he went there and she didn't show up? What if she did, and everything changed again? He looked at the time. It was already past midnight. Sunset was only hours away. Sleep never came. The next day felt unreal, like he was moving through someone else's life. Every minute stretched endlessly, every second heavy with anticipation. By the time the sun began to dip toward the horizon, his heart was pounding so loudly he could barely hear anything else. The place hadn't changed much. The same quiet corner, the same old bench, the same soft breeze that carried memories in its wake. He stopped a few steps away. She was there, standing with her back to him, watching the sunset. For a moment he just stood there, taking her in. The way she held herself, the way her hair moved gently with the wind. It was her. Real. Alive. "Aisha," he said softly. She turned. Their eyes met, and suddenly 5 years disappeared. Tears filled her eyes instantly. "You came," she whispered. He nodded, unable to trust his voice. They stood there, separated by only a few steps, but weighed down by years of silence. "I didn't think you would," she admitted. "I almost didn't," he said honestly. She flinched slightly, but nodded. "I understand." He took a slow step forward. "Why didn't you trust me?" he asked, the question finally breaking free. Her lips trembled. "I did," she said. "That was the problem. I knew how much you loved me, and I knew losing me would destroy you." "It did," he said quietly. The words hung between them. "I'm sorry," she whispered. He studied her face, searching for something. Maybe the girl he used to know. Maybe the answers he had been chasing for years. "I needed you," he said. "I know. You didn't give me a choice." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "I thought I was doing the right thing." "And now?" he asked. She hesitated. "Now I know I should have stayed." Silence settled again, but this time it felt different. Less heavy, more honest. He exhaled slowly. "I was angry," he admitted. "For a long time. You had every right." "But I never stopped." He paused, struggling to finish. "Loving me?" she completed softly. He nodded. She closed her eyes briefly, as if absorbing the weight of that. "I don't deserve that," she said. "Maybe not," he replied. "But it's still true." She looked at him, hope flickering cautiously. "What happens now?" she asked. He glanced at the horizon, where the sun was disappearing, painting the sky in shades of gold and orange. "I don't know," he said honestly. Then he looked back at her. "But maybe we stop running." A small, fragile smile appeared on her face. "Together?" she asked. He stepped closer, closing the distance that had once felt impossible. "Together," he said. And for the first time in years, the past didn't feel like something that was chasing them. It felt like something they had finally faced. The sun slipped below the horizon, but neither of them moved. Because some endings aren't endings at all. Sometimes they're just the beginning of something braver.